The pain, the pain, the pain. Seeing Bruno Guimaraes in a Newcastle shirt. But there is some new news coming out of Lyon today that I would like to talk about. In Ndombele appears to be coming back to Lyon. It is basically all but done. Confirmed that it will be happening. Now, there are a lot to finalize in terms of the deal. This is the latest news we have from Julien Maynard, basically saying that the loan is going to happen and we are going to be paying the majority of the wages. That part is already confirmed, but the final piece is to discuss a loan to buy option. So a purchasing fee after. It appears that Ndombele is keen to return and to return on a long-term deal after the season. So that is very, very interesting. He was obviously a player for us under Bruno Guimaraes before we sold him to Spurs. I think right before Juninho's first season. He was one of our big sales that season. 60 million euros, I think, was the fee. So we're likely going to be getting him back from Spurs for a lower fee. Definitely not going to be paying 60 million for him. I'm guessing the fee will be between 20 and 30 million euros, potentially. I'm not exactly sure where that is going to end up at, but that is where we are at with this news right now. He will be in Lyon tonight, and that means he'll likely be signed by the end of by tomorrow, and hopefully available to play against Marseille, as that game now on February 1st, which I will start doing reviews of games now. I guess call them fan games. I find that name cringe, but I will be talking about the games after every game, so I will start with the Marseille game on February 1st, so stay tuned for that. That is a huge game and a lot going on in that game. We're going to have a lot of new players. It might be tough. Roman Fave and Ndombele might have to immediately start in the team right after signing. So big news there coming out also that came out this weekend that we're playing on the 1st. So what do I think of the deal? Now, I am pretty excited for this deal, all things considered. This is his football rep page, and you can see here a lot of what he does is similar to Bruno Guimaraes in that he's a very, very progressive player with the ball on that central midfield. You look at his comparisons, he's similar to, players like Pedri, Renato Sanchez, Valverde. That's the type of profile of midfielder we need in that 4-2-3-1 that we've been trying to play, since Bosch came in. He wants to play the 4-3-3, and we don't really have the squad to play exactly that formation, but the 4-2-3-1 I think accomplishes his vision with that 4-3-3 and fits our squad better. In Ndombele, he's a little less solid defensively than Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, he's still pretty decent defensively, all things considered. 2 tackles a game, 1.42 interceptions. It's not as great, and that's going to mean we have to rely on Maxence Caqueret a lot more for that, and might be potential concern for Peter Bosch to not move away from the back 3, which I think he probably sticks with, but I don't think is the best formation for this team going forward. As you can see with the top percentile, progressive carries and dribbles completed, progressive passes top 10%, and then the top percentage as well, pass completion. This is a very good player at getting the ball from midfield into attack, and that's not really been an issue we've had with the team. The team has had issues with completing chances, scoring opportunities, and I think we have some potential good news for that coming up. I want to talk about it with the team here, but overall, I think this is enough of a start to replace Bruno Guimaraes. I don't think he's not the same player. He's certainly not as good, but he has the potential to offer something similar and to potentially be, as equal in a sense in Ligue. We don't need, this is Cope in a sense. You don't need a player Bruno Guimaraes' quality to push up the table at this point in time in the season. I think we're close enough, and I think improving the right wing position, which we talked about in the Roman Fave video, I think will make up for that loss of quality in the midfield. But I also think Ndombele can push on and be maybe even just as good as Bruno has been in the league at progressively moving the ball to the attack. As I've said, the main issue with this team has been defensively, and Denier, due to injury, has not played. He has been a big part of that. Luque and Boateng have really solidified defensively. Damien Da Silva has existed in the back line, but certainly it has been those two players who have really solidified the back line. Now let's talk about the starting 11 that I would play with this team given this signing. And you see here, I think in the Roman Fave video I had Dembele up top instead of Toko Ekambi. Toko Ekambi had a really good AFCON with Cameroon, playing in a two-striker system, to be fair, but playing as a striker. And I think it is important we give him another chance there. In that final run in the Champions League, he played really well in that striker position, I thought. He missed a lot of chances, but he was really good at pressing from the front and creating a lot of space. And I think that's something, a player like Roman Fave and Paqueta can really take advantage of, who have been in the goals this season in Ligue 1. And if we give, Roman Fave, we haven't really had a goal-scoring threat from this right-hand side that has played consistently. Shaqiri has been truthfully dreadful all season long. Cherki has been inconsistent, I think. I think he's had great performances in the Europa League. Would have liked to see him play more then. But in the league, he's been in and out of form. He had a really good game against PSG. Really only stopped by the fact that Marquinhos is probably the best defender in the world right now. But other games, he just sometimes finds, it difficult to get in. This is how I would line this team up. And I think that, this almost so potentially gives the opportunity to push into this kind of 4-2-2-2, which has, become popular. Not that I think this would be, realistically something we see on the regular. But this is, provides an opportunity for Toko Ekambi and Paqueta to combine as a strike force. Basically, our two best goal scorers this season can operate in this way. And that gives, a lot more space for Ndombele to progress into. If you look at his stats, that's what he's been really good at. Progressive carries, progressive passes, dribbles completed. That's where he really shines through. And Paqueta playing in the central area with the ability to push on, Toko Ekambi to move out wide, Aouar can drop deep. And you can almost kind of see this move, potentially in possession or in the attack sometimes into this type of formation, this 4-3-3. With Toko Ekambi has the ability to come out wide and really push, into the inner channel this way. Paqueta, has some good hold-up ability as well, which I think is understated in terms of his skill set. He's a really good attacker, a player who can score goals. And Fave has, had success on the right wing at times this season. And I think that this team with Ndombele and Toko Ekambi at striker, I think has a lot more ability to move around. This front three, front four is not as static. In the back three, we'll move Ndombele back, or I'll move Roman Fave. We'll pretend Roman Fave is a central defender for the sake of this demonstration. But, recently we've been playing in this formation, this season, kind of similar to Chelsea, and it's been really, really static with Ndombele up top. Ndombele doesn't really move from this position. Paqueta tries to get involved in here, but, with Dembele being very stationary around this area, it's hard for him to get really involved. He's not a player who's going to get wide and create a lot from here. Shaqiri can be that player, but he hasn't really done much this season. Obviously, that's where Gusto comes in and creates that space, but Paqueta doesn't really have much space to go into here. And even if he, say, comes into this position, you kind of block off Ndombele, force him to come up here. And, it kind of feels, in a sense, clunky. You don't get the whole team involved. Aouar just exists here. He's a player who likes to come in centrally. There's no real space for him to be central here. And I think this 5-3-2 doesn't necessarily work, as well as it has. It's solidified defensively, certainly, but I think that we'll end up probably moving back to this 4-2-3-1. And with Toko Ekambi up top, I think that this really changes the way that our defense and our attack primarily works. And I think I'm really excited to see how, we attack moving forward, because I think Ndombele, well, he's not an improvement on Guimaraes by any means. Certainly not as strong of a player. I think he offers something just that little bit different in that he can play that attacking midfielder role, and he can allow Aouar to kind of go back into a traditional position, even with the left starting position, and we can transition into this type of position and attack as well, this formation. So I think this is a good tactical signing for sure. I obviously would have preferred Guimaraes to say, it's just a sign Roman Fave, and we operate in this potential same kind of, fluid system. But I think at the end of the day, I think this is about as good as we could have come out of this transfer window as if we, were forced to sell Bruno Guimaraes. Obviously, would have liked to see another DM come to replace Thiago Mendes as another option late in games, because Thiago Mendes has been really poor I think in that defensive midfielder position. Somehow he's been a better center back. I don't know how that's even real, but this is where I think the Lyon team is going, and I'm going to do a video at the end of the transfer window just in case there are more moves to be done, and fully talk about, where I see us realistically finishing the end of the season. Because this is kind of my quick evaluation of the team and quick how I think the formation will play out. But I think there's a lot more to cover, and I think this could be a very interesting end of the season. I think it is possible a European Cup could come to Lyon by the end of the season, but I'd love to see at least the Marseille game to see how this team plays out. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. What do you guys think of Ndombele returning to Lyon? I'm personally very, very happy about it. I think it's going to really change, the dynamic of this team going forward. I will see you guys in the next video on, I guess, Tuesday will be the next video guaranteed for the Marseille game. As always, have a wonderful day.